anything that puts me in a good mood and anything that I can transfer to someone looking at the painting and put them in a good mood. I started painting when I was in high school. I discovered that I had a love for art, spent all my time in the art class. I painted a lot in my last year of high school. Then I put away my brushes when I graduated and got married and started a family, and actually didn't paint until about year 2000, about 10 years ago, when I just decided that I needed to refresh my creative process. My kids had grown up and left home for college, and I found that I needed something to go back to. And I remembered that art was something that I really loved to do. I just started painting again, discovered that I still had the talent and still had that passion. So I decided to enroll in art school at Michigan State University. I studied oil painting, the Bachelor's of Fine Arts program, went through a lot of classes basically for oil painting, and that's what I do today. I actually discovered St. Augustine by accident. I was just driving through Florida and spent the night in St. Augustine and discovered that this is a beautiful city, and I decided to move here. So in 2004, I decided this is where I wanted to be, and so I've been here since then. I have a home studio, so I do all my painting in my home studio, and I show in several galleries here in St. Augustine. At genres, I started painting here 3 years ago. At first, it was just very sporadic, you know, just here and there. And then now I paint here about twice a month, usually on a Friday and a Saturday. I have gotten to know some of the patrons, and especially the children love to come up to the easel, and I give them the brush and I let them experiment and see that they can paint too. It's really very easy and fun. This has been a very good outlet for me. Genres has been very supportive, not only to me as an artist, but to a lot of local artists in St. Augustine. I start at home in my home studio because I paint in layers. The first thing I do is I take a bare canvas and I sketch on it. And then I use a Sharpie marker and I just go over the lines that I want to retain. And then I paint a very thin layer of paint, and the Sharpie bleeds right through the paint. So my drawing comes right through my first initial layer of paint, which is great because this allows me to tone the canvas and then to start adding layer upon layer. And the thicker I put on my layers, you don't see the Sharpie anymore. It kind of just disappears, you know, as I layer the paint. My first layer is very thin. I just use very little paint and a lot of turpentine. And then each layer that I put is a little thicker, so that my last layer, and I'll put on probably about 5 or 6 layers, my last layer will have a lot of thick paint so that you'll get, you know, some texture coming through like you see here in the ballerina. I usually spend about an hour in the studio every morning. So an hour allows me to put on at least one layer. And it usually takes me about 5 or 6 layers, so about 5 or 6 days of spending about an hour. So I'd say about 6 hours total to finish a painting. I usually have about 5 or 6 paintings that I work on at any one time. So I'll spend a little bit on this one and a little bit on that one. And I produce probably about 3 or 4 paintings every 3 weeks. Because I was born in Haiti in the West Indies, I grew up on the island of Haiti. I always yearned for that feel, that island feel, the mood, the colors, the passion, the food, the dance, the culture. And so I try to capture that in my art. So I do a lot of boats, women walking the beach, woman on a boat, a lot of palm trees, mangoes, dancers. This one's a ballerina, but I do a lot of like tango dancers and carnival dancers and anything that reminds me of the island. Tonight I'm working on a heron. His name is Oscar, There is a very cute great blue heron that lives underneath the Santa Maria. And I would see him quite often. So I decided to paint him. So I've painted the background kind of a light blue. I've got Oscar laid out in white and blue. That's what I've done so far at home in my studio. And today I'm going to finish Oscar and deepen the colors in the water and add more details in the water, in the waves, and add lots of detail to his feathers, to the grasses that he's walking in. Anyone can paint. You don't have to have a talent already there. You can develop a talent. I've discovered that really, if you have a love for art, you can paint. And what I love best about painting is that there are no rules. You're an artist and you're expressing yourself through art, through your paint. So you get there with a brush and you can take out your frustration on the canvas, and I do that all the time.